That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 9898 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 9898.
There are times being a genius would really come in handy.
This is Houston. Your oxygen levels will be depleted unless you put the valve modulator into the auxiliary gauge after you have calibrated the flexternal matrix, not the external matrix. Do not touch that one.
I'm just the cook.
But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes. Because with TurboTax, you can snap a photo of your W-2 with your smartphone, and it will automatically put your information into all the right forms. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is our New Year's gift to you. Circle this date, Friday, January 15th. You're invited to start the new year off right with a subscription to BuySellMakeOffer.com. Some other selling sites can be sketchy, and even others will charge you a fee on every item you list. But with BuySellMakeOffer.com, you can sell your washer, dryer, cars, or even your home with no per-item fees. And you can use Skype, make a video. You can actually see the person you're buying from, or they can see you, all to better sell your product. Wouldn't you like a feeling of security when you buy or sell? That's why we call it BuySellMakeOffer.com. And you don't have to wait until January 15th to find out what the buzz is all about. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and type in your email address so you'll know exactly when the fun will begin. The first 30 days are on us, and then it's as little as $7.95 per month to sell up to 50 items. Join the revolution in online selling with BuySellMakeOffer.com.
With your Thursday news, I'm Jim Miller, CNBC, KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, station that leaves no listener behind. Riverside man faces 50 years in prison for allegedly providing assault rifles to the gunman in the December 2nd terrorist attack in San Bernardino. He pled not guilty yesterday in federal court. 24-year-old Enrique Marquez is charged with 5 felony counts, including providing material support to terrorists, the illegal purchase of the 2 assault rifles in the mass shooting. He was initially charged December 17. A bicyclist died after colliding with an elderly motorist in Loma Linda. It happened Monday near the intersection of Bryn Mawr Avenue and George Street. A 92-year-old Loma Linda resident driving south and prepared to turn left or east on George Street. And then a 33-year-old Loma Linda resident who was riding a bike and headed north on Bryn Mawr Avenue, approaching George Street when it was struck. Heavy rain falling on the inland region has been swamping roads and is expected to continue through this morning. Flash flooding was considered likely in dry washes in urban areas, and debris flows are possible near wildfire burn scars. Do not try to cross flooded areas in vehicles or by foot. Areas likely to experience flooding include Riverside, San Bernardino, Moreno Valley, Temecula, Redlands, Oceanside, Carlsbad, Vista, Mission Viejo, and San Clemente. Thousands of California homeowners respecting the power of nature and buying flood insurance. FEMA says there was an increase of over 28,000 new flood insurance policies purchased in the state from August through November last year. The 12% increase was the first of its kind in recent history. I'm Jim Miller, CNBC News, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In the San Bernardino National Forest, we have a winter storm alert. Chains are needed above 5,000 feet due to heavy snow. Also, chains are required on Highway 18 between Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear, and Highway 38 between Big Bear and Forest Falls. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. The 71 south is busy between Euclid Avenue and the 91. In Chino, slow traffic on the 60 westbound between Ramona Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Euclid Avenue to the 57. The 210 west is slow from Haven Avenue to Foothill Boulevard. In Yucaipa, a disabled vehicle, the right lane is blocked on the 10 eastbound at Yucaipa Boulevard. A conked-out car is blocking the right lane. In the Cajon Pass, slow traffic on the 15 southbound between Oak Hill Road and Kenwood Avenue. The slowing is due in part to rainy weather in the past, and be careful for fog as well. In Rancho Cucamonga, there's an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 15 southbound at Baseline Road. A wreck is up against the center divider. In Moreno Valley, a slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Alessandro Boulevard and Blaine Street / 3rd Street. 60 West is busy between Pigeon Pass and the 215. And then finally in Corona on the 91 westbound at Grand Avenue, the on-ramp is closed until January 30th. It rained very hard all night long, so please be careful out there and don't drive through any puddles. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got showers on a high near 55. Tonight, showers, possible thunderstorms. Some storms could produce heavy rain, low near 43. Showers, possible thunderstorm on Thursday with a high near 55. Thursday night, showers, possible thunderstorm, cloudy with a low near 41. Showers likely, partly sunny and a high near 56 on Friday. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 39. Saturday, chance of showers, partly sunny and a high near 57. Saturday night, chance of showers, partly cloudy skies, a low near 42. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly sunny and a high near 60. That's your weather for this hour from the KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you.
Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. It is a wet morning, a beautiful morning. It rained steady all night long.
I started looking for Noah and the Ark.
Seriously.
Raining? What are you talking about? It's raining?
It's not raining at your house?
It has been nothing but raining for the last 24 hours, and we got a lightning show about 1 a.m. that was pretty amazing.
See, lightning doesn't bother me, but really loud, shake your house thunder scares me to death. It really
and we
does.
got both. It was actually quite an exciting show. I laid there watching it for a while because you couldn't sleep.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that is like, you've seen the movie Ted, right? Thunder buddies. They're like, holding on to each other and getting through the thunder. That's me. So we got a great show planned for you all today. Lots to talk about in the news. And, of course, the second segment after the first break, we'll have Todd's Tech Time talking about new technologies from 2015 and how they did, among other things. And so let's jump right in. Have you all ever been, either one of you been to Coachella?
No.
I'm a crowd avoidant person. So
that's
no.
not the place for you.
No.
Not at all. Well, apparently it's sold out in an hour. The festival, the whole thing, sold out in 1 hour.
Wow.
The Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival with headliners Guns N' Roses. Yes, Guns N' Roses is together for this. LCD Sound System and Calvin Harris sold out Wednesday in about an hour. Online passes for both weekends, April 15th through 17th and April 22nd through 24th, went on sale at 11 a.m. And an hour later, the Coachella website said the passes are no longer available. Thank you.
Yeah,
Passes,
that's pretty amazing.
Right?
That's a big deal, and those are not cheap.
No, they're not. Passes for the Indio-based event range from $399, $400 to $899.
Wow.
And that's before you've bought a drink, you've paid for parking, you've done anything else.
That's to get your foot in the gate.
Yes.
So with it selling out like that, do you think they're going to jack the prices up even more?
Well, I'm sure scalpers bought a chunk of them.
Yeah.
The VIP passes, guess how much those went for? And don't look at the notes that we have.
I'm not sure. $2,000?
$1,200.
$2,300.
Wow, only off by about 1,000. I was only off by, exactly half, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, right? I mean, I love concerts when I was younger. I used to go to concerts all the time, but massive music festivals. I went to a few music festivals. I guess the last one that I went to, or large multi-headliner concert, was the Family Values Tour. Gosh, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that people around you get stupid drunk and they're taking drugs. And so by the time the headliner's actually on, you've got somebody setting fire to trash cans, somebody getting sick all over everywhere, people getting rowdy and stupid, and that's not fun.
No, I love live music, but I would prefer smaller venues, clubs, things. And, occasionally I'll treat myself to a bigger venue. But even then, I want something that has assigned seating, and I prefer a single or maybe an opening act and a main act That way it's not as long, and I don't have to sit out in the crowd quite as long.
Exactly. And they show pictures of Coachella and all these people sandwiched in together.
The sea of people.
The sea of people. I don't know. I'm not that comfortable with people in my personal space.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
But
although the Guns N' Roses reunion, Guns N' Roses has been touring for a while. So if anybody's seen them in the last few years, they're calling themselves Guns N' Roses, but it was just Axl Rose. They're actually bringing back the most of the original members, I believe, and that's or at least Slash is back, which is an interesting thing to see that they've kind of made up and that they're going to tour again.
Yeah, it was my understanding that the two hated each other,
right,
with a passion.
Yeah. So apparently, time and distance has healed
money.
that at least. So we'll see how long it lasts.
Money.
The tour may not last very long.
And money. I mean, let's be honest. They got to
Yeah.
pay some bills. That's why they're doing this. So I'm just saying. So it's good to see that this festival brings in so much business to Coachella, to the city of Coachella. So, it's good. So on to France, and Todd, I think that you are the one who posted this article. So why don't you talk about Charlie Hebdo?
I just thought this was hilarious, and frankly, I think the people who were at Charlie Hebdo this Saturday were probably laughing in heaven because they put a plaque up at the site of the attack, which was a year ago, and they misspelled one of the people's names.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, they misspelled one of the names, and so the plaque was covered up almost immediately, and then within a day, a new plaque was put up. But frankly, in honor of the humor and the comedy of the fine folks at Charlie Hebdo, I think they should have left it up and just laughed. It was actually there was the last name on the list was Georges Wolinski, and it's supposed to be Ski, and they put SKY. So I mean, it was a simple name misspelling, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
I thought so. I just thought
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
given their sense of humor and their comedy, I thought that was very, very funny.
They should have used like that correction tape and just put like a little piece of correction tape over it.
That would have even been better. Just put get out a Sharpie and put a line through the Y and then put a handwritten I next to it.
Yes,
that would have
like
been
scratched
terrific.
In. Like
they
scratched
should have
in.
just left it that way, and that would have been just awesome. I think that's and I understand the people doing it were probably appalled and thought that was horrible because it was a very serious thing. But again, being a bunch of people who understood humor very well. To me, that would have been just the perfect thing to cross it out and just put a handwritten correction on there.
Those kinds of mistakes happen more than people know, too. I mean, it's so easy.
Okay, so I won't tell what high school it was, but we know someone who was the salutatorian for a local high school when he graduated, and they put his title as salutatorian. And there were several other things that were misspelled in the program for the graduation, and it was like,
and it was on the plaque too.
And
that
it was
they
on
gave
the
him.
plaque, salutatorian.
Right.
It's like, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and these are the people that were teaching these children.
Exactly.
Well, there's a very famous sign that was at my alma mater.
Yes.
Committed to high standards.
Committed.
Yeah.
So instead of using two T's, they used one, and it was, the name of the high school. It's supposed to be committed to high standards, but it said committed to high standards, and that is so ironic.
Yeah. That's
and it was up for a while.
The hilarity
It was
is
up
just
for a while.
That's funny. That's funny.
Fantastic.
On a slightly less funny note, actually at the Charlie Hebdo site, they actually this morning. A gentleman wielding a knife and having apparently a bomb strapped to him was shot and killed. Turns out it was a fake bomb, but he was at the site wielding a knife this morning on the
oh my goodness
anniversary. I just read that this morning too. So there's still a bunch of just people out there who just don't have things straight in their brains, and
or they're evil.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I basically include that in the same group. I mean, I think that, people who are doing these evil things, if they're doing it with intent, there's something wrong with them. And if they are doing it because there's something wrong with them, the end result's the same.
Indeed. So we have to take a break. It's 6:15. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
When we get back, we'll be talking to Todd about, we'll be doing Todd's Tech Time. We're on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Inland Body and Paint is a family-owned and operated fleet collision and repair shop that's proud to live in and help our community. Bring your heavy-duty trucks and or equipment to their Fleet Collision and Paint Center in Fontana for expert collision repair services. With 35 years of experience, you're sure to receive quality workmanship at an excellent price from Inland Body and Paint Center. From fiberglass repairs to quality painting, they'll take care of your truck and equipment from top to bottom in their new 64-foot spray booth. By the way, Inland Body and Paint of Fontana repaired and repainted the Kcaa truck, and they can do the same job for your car, truck, or heavy-duty equipment. Inland Body and Paint, dedicated to the community and to your satisfaction. Call them today to learn what they can do for you. You can find Inland Body and Paint on Valencia in Fontana. Call them at 909-434-0466 or online at inlandbodyandpaint.com.
Hi, this is Steve Aladort from Rancho Financial with the Mortgage Minute. This may be the perfect time to move forward with a new purchase. The feds have not yet increased short-term rates. When they do, we expect both rates and property values to increase. Today, you have an opportunity to qualify for a lower payment and more home than potentially even just a few months down the road. If you have VA eligibility, we can do up to 100% financing. We have loans with as little as 3.5% down, less than 20% down without mortgage insurance. Turned down because you can't qualify with your tax returns? We have special programs that we can use your assets to qualify you, and we have just come out with a bank statement program. If you can't qualify with your tax returns but can show income through your bank statements, we might have a loan program just for you. There are many possible options that can make a huge difference in your monthly payments. That's why you need a loan financial planner. Give me a call, Steve Aladort, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070, or go to loanfinancialplanner.com.
Hey, Mom, how'd you like to forget having to work like crazy just to make someone else rich? Earn great money from home so you can have the freedom to be the mom you want to be.
I'm a single mom, and when I found this opportunity, I was able to make $1,200 part-time my first month, fire my boss, and now work from home full-time around my kids.
Get free information from the Moms Business Network today. Just go to income16.com to learn how. Income16.com. You can start earning great money as soon as next week. Income16.com.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And it's time for Todd's Tech Time.
All right. So I thought that what we might do is, look back a little bit. We've just rolled around to 2016, and I've been looking at some kind of fun lists, some of the top movies and things like that. And I thought maybe, over the next week we might actually just start talking about some of them. But being that I'm kind of a techie guy, I found a list that had been put together by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They publish a technology review. And in their technology review, they did a list of 10 breakthrough technologies of 2015 and where are they now. And so I thought it'd be fun to kind of look at some of these technologies because they're not necessarily products yet. They are things that might become some really cool products. And so I thought it would be fun to talk about those a little bit. So the first one on the list is something called Magic Leap. Magic Leap is a company that's doing something called augmented reality. And I know there's a lot of people who are aware of things like the Oculus Rift just started going on sale and getting these headsets that do virtual reality. And you guys are familiar with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So augmented reality, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, is like virtual reality, except that you get to see the world around you through the goggles. So I could be wearing the goggles and see everything around me in my room, but then it would add things to it. It would augment that vision so that it could put then an overlay on top of things and make like, for instance, if you're playing like a video game, you could go outside and see the street in front of your house and the trees and cars parked, but then it would then be within the video game be able to add to that, and you would have like people in your division maybe marching next to you and people popping up from behind cars, and you would have to shoot virtual bullets at them. And so you could actually be outside and play, and it would be within the world of reality, but then these additional things would be added in while you're wearing the goggles or the glasses.
Okay, this kind of freaks me out a little bit. I mean, if you think about things that are traumatic for people, seeing stuff blow up in front of them, seeing, like somebody jumping out behind something and shooting you, all these things that could cause, a traumatic experience for the person. And
Absolutely. It can be very immersive. And if you've seen any of the video games today, I mean, they're already very realistic looking.
So why would you want to trigger PTSD in your neighborhood?
Well, I use that as an example because that's a popular genre for video games, but there's lots of other applications for this too. I mean, they're developing, actually, part of this kind of technology has been used to help develop training situations so that you can create virtual situations but still be able to move around within an environment, whereas with virtual reality, you kind of got to stay put because you start running into walls and stumbling over furniture and things like that.
Going.
Yeah.
So by its by the virtue of it being virtual, there's not much physical interaction. The idea behind the augmented reality is it allows you to have much more actual physical interaction with whatever it is you're doing.
So I have to say it like this. This is like all the fun of an LSD hallucination without any of the risks.
So people do this. Yeah, they have the same experience without this technology, and you call them schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of like weird ways to take on this. Actually, I'm very excited about it. There's been a lot of sci-fi books written in the past about things like this, where you could then, put on your glasses and be in like a steampunk world. And so it puts an overlay on or a filter on top of things. And so you see cars as, horse or steam driven vehicles and stuff. So you can verify, change the way things look and make it interesting and fun. It does present some issues in terms of, what's the safety of this thing? Like, it's overlaying things. If it misses something, say like a car, when you walk out into a street or things like that, you're not seeing what's really there. You're seeing this augmented thing. And that's the idea. At least initially, it's not like covering up things, though. It's in its infancy.
So the first game that I want them to make, Todd, we used to play this game when we were kids. We would stand on the couch and the carpet was lava. And now I want it to look like real lava. And we're jumping from the couch, and it looks like we're jumping from rock to rock, right? From the couch
or onto a boat, which happens to be your brother laying on the bed. Or on the floor.
Yes.
I could see where that was going because I remember this is a family story. I still have back problems.
Brother boat.
Yeah.
Oh my
God! Actually, my back problems came from a car crash, which is unfortunate. But I'll never let you. Never let you forget that one.
That's right.
I think you were like 6, 7.
I think I was more like 4, Todd.
Yeah. You weighed like you were 6 or 7. That's all.
Oh,
so, with that, so we've talked about 1 out of 10. Obviously, we're not going to get through 10 here because we're
they're too much fun.
Well,
these are a lot of fun. So, but we can also maybe pick some up when we come back again on Tuesday. But let's move on because we don't have a ton of time here. Nano architecture is another thing. They're doing some blending of ceramic and metal materials at a scale that's not been seen before. They're actually creating hybrid materials that are bonding at molecular levels and creating some pretty amazing capabilities. They've got some really flexible and strong and extremely light things. And where you're going to see that impact is on cars that are A, safer, and B, lighter, so they get better mileage. Things like better batteries, and that's a big deal in that batteries, stronger and more powerful batteries will allow for electric cars, allow for cell phones that don't have to be charged every night. The smartphones, remember back in the day when we had the original cell phones, they'd go a week on a charge, and we've kind of learned to accept that you have to charge them every night when you've got a smartphone.
Yeah.
But that's slowly changing and a lot of that's through these hybrid nanomaterials. And
Now, could those materials be used to create something like a hip?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the most amazing things that goes along with this is as they're developing some of these things, they're also, aware of other technologies that are developing like 3D printing. And so as they develop better and more capable 3D printers, they'll be able to do things like, print custom parts of bodies like bone, hip replacements and things like that are customized to you. So they can actually do like a 3D scan and copy the one that you've got, fixing any of the parts that have been worn away or broken and put a new one in. So you'll have things that are more exact fits and replacements for people, which is pretty amazing.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's a cool technology. And realize that, a lot of people talk about things like developing I would just want to tie this in to, what's the value of trying to go to Mars when we've got so many problems here on the planet? Well, a lot of these kinds of technologies are initially thought of and started in development for things like some military applications, lighter airplanes that are stronger, and things like going to Mars. I mean, there's a weight problems trying to launch things on a rocket. So you need to be able to make things that are super strong and super light so you can build a structure that people can live in. And so things like new materials and training systems through virtual reality or augmented reality are very important technologies that are developed to do things like move further on in space exploration. And we see lots of benefits for those things as they come back into applications for here on Earth. So there's my plug for NASA because I'm a fan of what they do as well. But there's some reason behind that. Another thing that's really big is car-to-car communications. And I'm not talking about the ability to call your buddy while they're driving down the street.
Or the guy who just cut you off.
Yeah. The cars actually talk to each other. And this is something that actually GMC's been a big leader in. And Mercedes is going to be putting them in their 2017 E-Class cars as well. The capability of your vehicle to talk to the other vehicles around it and say, hey, let's all speed up or slow down together because of weather conditions or road conditions or the number of lanes that are available or spacing and things like that, so that we will have safer vehicles. They're not necessarily completely autonomous, but they've already got cars that will sense what's in front of them and hit the brakes before you do if it feels like it's necessary to avoid a collision. And so they're just enhancing that by saying, if both cars are aware of where each other are and can communicate with each other, we can keep a safe distance between the two vehicles. We can control certain aspects of driving down the road in order to keep everybody safer. And that's going to make a major change in the safety for the positive. I think that we're going to see that our cars are going to continue to get safer and safer for us to move around in, which is really cool.
This is another step on the way to driverless cars, correct?
Absolutely. It's a baby step towards autonomous cars. It's not necessarily the same technology as the autonomous cars, but it's using a lot of the same kind of sensors and stuff so the cars know about their environment, where they're at, and how they're moving down the road. But what's really cool is them being able to communicate with each other, the cars directly at, the speed of light, basically, or the speed of radio waves, which effectively is the same for all of our purposes here on Earth. There's some delays. I shouldn't say that, but anyhow, it's very cool that they would be able to make decisions much more quickly than we can, especially in an accident environment. If something's happening in front of you, to have multiple cars down the road, in front of you being able to communicate to each other and saying, hey, there's a crash right up here and traffic is slowing down. And so you can start your car might start slowing down and doing accident avoidance before you can even see the accident, which is very cool.
That is cool. And with that, we are out of time for this segment. Always love Todd's Tech Time. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Here's the latest. I'm Jay Corwin. Emergency crews working to free 17 miners trapped in an elevator more than 800 feet below ground at a salt mine in central New York. County Administrator Joe Marine says at least a dozen of the 17 workers have been rescued. No serious injuries have yet been reported. President Obama will talk about his new gun initiatives tonight. He'll take part in a town hall meeting on CNN.
The town hall meeting is for the president to engage with both people who support his position on gun safety, but also to have a conversation with those who don't agree.
That's presidential spokesman Josh Earnest. The event being held at George Mason University in Northern Virginia. French police investigating an attempted attack on a Paris police station today, 1 year almost to the minute after the mass killings at satirical tabloid Charlie Hebdo. Police say a man armed with a knife, wearing what they now believe was a fake suicide vest, tried to enter a police station in northern Paris. They say he shouted, "God is great" in Arabic before police shot and killed him. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. Senator John McCain says it's worth looking into whether Texas Senator Ted Cruz is eligible to serve as president. The Arizona Republican addressed the matter yesterday on 550 KFYI's The Chris Merrill Show and said he's really unsure about Cruz's status.
I don't know the answer to that. I know it came up in my race because I was born in Panama, but I was born in the Canal Zone, which is a territory.
Cruz was born in Canada to an American mother. He had dual U.S. and Canadian citizenship until renouncing his Canadian citizenship in 2014. A sheriff in Oregon asking the armed militia occupying a federal building to leave. Harvey County Sheriff Dave Ward spoke to community members at a meeting last night. His suggestion the group occupying the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge go home was met by enthusiastic applause. And Saturday's Powerball jackpot will be the biggest in U.S. lottery history. It's now at $675 million and expected to climb even higher by Saturday. There hasn't been a jackpot winner since November 7th. Powerball officials say there were some million-dollar winners last night. I'm Jay Corwin.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got showers and a high near 55. Tonight, showers, possible thunderstorms. Some storms could produce heavy rain, low near 43. Showers, possible thunderstorm on Thursday with a high near 55. Thursday night, showers, possible thunderstorm, cloudy with a low near 41. Showers likely, partly sunny and a high near 56 on Friday. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 39. Saturday, chance of showers, partly sunny and a high near 57. Saturday night, chance of showers, partly cloudy skies, a low near 42. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly sunny and a high near 60. That's your weather for this hour from the KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Aaron Brinker. The San Bernardino National Forest has chains required on all roads above 5,000 feet. Heading up to the mountains, make sure that you have chains. We still have weather. It's still snowing up there. So in Corona, stop and go traffic on the 91 westbound between the 15 and Green River Road. The 71 south is busy between Euclid Avenue and the 91. In Yucaipa, there's a disabled vehicle. The right lane is blocked on the 10 eastbound at Yucaipa Boulevard. A disabled big rig is blocking the right lane. In Chino, slow traffic on the 60 westbound between Ramona Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Etowanda Avenue to Haven. The 210 west is slow and go from Haven Avenue to Foothill Boulevard. In the Cajon Pass, slow traffic on the 15 southbound between Oak Hill Road and Kenwood Avenue. This slowing is due in part to rainy weather in the pass. Please watch out for fog and rain. In Rancho Cucamonga, an accident has been cleared on the 15 southbound at Baseline Road. A wreck has been cleared from the center divider. In Moreno Valley, slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus Avenue and Blaine Street / 3rd Street. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. And finally in Corona, the 91 westbound at Grand Boulevard and on-ramp is closed until January 30th. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. I'm Aaron Brinker.
Hi, it's Dave Collins in Snow Country. Well, you want to learn to ski or snowboard? You can be a part of the Guinness World's Largest Ski Lesson at 10 a.m. on January 8th. Details at learntoskiandsnowboard.org, and you can learn to ski under some fresh powder. We've got 9 trails at Mountain High right now. They'll be taking part in that ski lesson. That'll be on Friday, again at 10 a.m. Snow Summit with over 2 dozen trails, almost 100% of the terrain open for you, and they stay open under the lights on Friday and Saturday nights. Bear Mountain with 20 trails, about 85% of their terrain for you to ski and ride down. June picked up a couple of fresh inches over the past few days. They've got almost 3 dozen trails available for you there. Mammoth Mountain with 100% of their terrain open. That's 3,500 acres for you to ski and ride down. China Peak with 10 inches over the latest 3 days or so. They've got 100% of their terrain open for you. Almost 100 trails on packed powder at Sugar Bowl. There's more at snowcountry.com. I'm Dave Collins on KCAA 1050 AM and the all-new 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Wishing for a little bit more information? You'll get it all here on KCAA Radio.
Of a preacher from the back room, calling my name and I follow just to find you. I trace the faith to a broken down.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. So big news in San Bernardino County. The board has voted to keep San Bernardino County CEO Greg Devereaux in his position. And Tobin, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, look, he faced some really difficult times here in the last 3 months of 2015. There was a sex scandal in the county. The HR,
not for him, but their HR director.
Yeah, for the HR director had been arrested and prosecuted for soliciting a prostitute, and Devereaux knew about it. Did not inform the board. Did not do any obvious discipline for this person, and when the news story hit, Devereaux was really sort of caught unprepared and did not answer questions very well. And so this put him in a really bad light. They did eventually end up getting rid of the HR director. And I think one of the things that sort of helped save Devereaux here is this tragedy that happened in our county and how well the county has responded. And Devereaux kind of helped to put a lot of that together, I'm sure. And but there were some county supervisors who I know who were just absolutely appalled at his behavior.
Yes.
It was like the Good Old Boy Network, right? That he
Yes.
covered up for his HR director.
And Supervisor Josie Gonzalez put out a video where she expressed her anger and frustration. And the issue wasn't necessarily, obviously Greg Devereaux is not responsible for what this HR director did, but he didn't tell the supervisors. So when they found out about it through the media, they were blindsided.
Yes.
And nobody in elected office or anybody wants to feel blindsided if they're supposed to be responsible.
Yeah, didn't we learn anything from Watergate? Not doing it doesn't, or not knowing about it when it happens doesn't excuse covering it up and trying to hide it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's
certainly
just
doesn't
it.
keep it from the public.
I think you're right, Todd. I think, Todd, that people thought that it was a cover-up maybe,
Right.
that the Devereaux was essentially trying to sweep this under the rug for his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got them. And the supervisors, not knowing about any of it, made them look foolish.
Well, yes, and I think maybe, if you give him the benefit of the doubt, he would say it was handled.
Yeah.
It was a management issue and it was handled. And because HR issues are supposed to be private, you wouldn't necessarily know what the punishment was. The public wouldn't necessarily know. Of course, the supervisors, I suppose they would need to know. That's what closed session is for.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't.
Well, female employees.
What is that? How does that work out for? Not to belabor that point, but the guy was involved in a prostitution scandal. So he was soliciting somebody for prostitution.
Yes, and he was arrested.
And is that a felony or is that a misdemeanor? What kind of? I honestly, I'm completely naive in this area, so I'm just curious because if it's a misdemeanor type of thing where the guy got a ticket. I kind of get his point. It's like, okay, he got a ticket. The law has already dealt with him.
It's not a ticket. I think they're fingerprinted and booked. It's not. It's not. And I guess we need to do some more research on this one. But I think they're fingerprinted and booked. It's an actual.
Yeah, because even if it's a misdemeanor, there's a scale of like what those type of crimes are. So
it's not like a traffic ticket.
Right. Okay.
So and the female, of course, this HR director is supposed to be.
He was given 10 days where he had to go work with Caltrans in lieu of jail. He was given 3 years of informal probation. He had to submit to AIDS testing and education. He was also required to provide a DNA sample to the state. So it was a misdemeanor.
Wow.
In Orange County. But
Okay, so from the CEO's perspective, he may say, okay, this guy's already getting punished by the legal system.
But as
Question is, does it? Yeah, as an HR director who's supposed to provide a place for people who have concerns about treatment in the workplace, is that the right guy now to be doing that?
Well, and as a female employee, if I'm being sexually harassed by my boss, am I going to feel comfortable going to this guy's HR department? Probably not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously he's he was convicted of soliciting a prostitute. So my assumption is that he's not going to be very open to hearing what I have to say.
Yeah. Or that his views on human relationships and relations is probably not in line with what most people would assume is the norm.
Right. And men may be able to separate out, the idea of going to a prostitute versus actual human relationships, but women can't. That women generally don't see that delineation. For somebody who's going to say, yeah, but it was just a prostitute, she was selling it, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy it. And and most women don't. And so I wouldn't feel comfortable going to him as an HR director.
Yeah, it's not like when Hugh Grant got caught, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? He's an actor. He doesn't. Nobody has to go to him and say, my coworker's been saying things to me that make me uncomfortable.
Right. But Hugh Grant, he got in trouble too. I mean, it was very embarrassing for him.
Oh, it was. Remember the very next, I think it was like the next day, he was actually on the Tonight Show, and he was congratulated for actually having the guts to come on national TV like the day after he got arrested. And he goes, well, oops.
And he lost his relationship with Elizabeth Hurley.
Was that? I didn't know if that was directly because of that. I know that they broke up at some point. I don't remember the timing of that.
I think it was timed right around that time for him.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. It was.
Oh.
Yeah,
undoubtedly.
And she was a model and didn't need it. She could have anybody.
But to Devereaux's credit, again, I think that what kind of saved him here with this job review is the fact that he's handled himself and the county has handled themselves so well after this December 2nd terrorist attack. And so they was able to sort of turn a page and say, look, I am a good CEO for the county. I made a mistaken judgment, an error in judgment in not handling and informing the board about this other situation, but he can still get the job done. And I think that restored people's confidence in him.
Lacking some transparency in that situation doesn't necessarily mean that he's a failure.
Yeah.
Now, each one of the supervisors has a public information officer or somebody who plays that role. And I know the county does as well, but I don't know, I don't have a feel for how much crisis communications training they have. I mean, there's an art to dealing with these issues when they hit the media. And I think that, and we've seen this in the city of San Bernardino for many years. When something bad happened, they didn't have the right words in place. They didn't have the right messages in place to be able to manage the media well. And it ended up making them look bad. And that's people tend to look at communications professionals and say, I don't need that. I can tell the story. But the reality is it's much more difficult than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating a narrative is not always an easy thing to do. I mean, even the very best politicians in the world running for our, president have staffs of people who discuss and then offer recommendations on how to word things and how to phrase things and how to approach different issues in the public in order to create a narrative that is, putting them in a positive light.
Well, and even if they still make a gaffe and people act like it's the end of the world. So, in this age of Twitter, the slightest
that whole
little
thing may be changing, with Donald Trump, maybe just making a gaffe is the goal.
Well,
just to get your name out there.
That's true. That's because he's a firm believer in the adage that no publicity is bad publicity. Everything is good. All publicity is good publicity.
As long as you put the Trump name on it, we don't care what you say.
We don't care what you say. So it's time for a break. We're a little bit early, but 6:44. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that dropping out of high school was my decision, but as a single mom, that decision affected more than just me. To set an example, I had to be the example. I found a free high school diploma program at Learn for Life that fits around my busy life. I have a team of teachers, tutors, and counselors that really care. I learn at my pace in an environment that is safe and comfortable. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features
Dennis Baxter from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, George. I'm very proud that Habitat for Humanity San Bernardino area has been serving the residents of the area since 1992, so that's 24 years of building homes and building hope. Each partner family participates in our own curriculum in the greater San Bernardino area that provides guidance and resources to a successful long-term experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, or check out the savings and place your order online. VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
East Valley Water District is making sandbags and fill material available to local customers. Due to the high potential for heavy rains in the 2015-16 winter season, items will be accessible 24/7, beginning now. However, you will need to bring your own shovel. You can pick up your supplies at either 31111 Green Spot Road in Highland or 1155 Del Rosa Avenue, San Bernardino. For additional information on how to prepare for winter storms, visit www.eastvalley.org/winterstormprep. or call 909-889-9501.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. So from San Bernardino County to Riverside County, Cassie McDuff had a column in this week's Press Enterprise talking about the the surveillance numbers in Riverside County. A very disturbing statistic emerged late last year. The Riverside County District Attorney's Office and one judge approved more wiretaps in 2012, 13, and 14 than any other county in California. Not just a little more, a lot more. In 2012, Riverside County allowed wiretapping of 305 phone lines. Number 2 is Los Angeles with just 170. Want to talk about the difference in size and population between LA County and Riverside County?
I know. LA's like 5 times bigger.
Yes. In 2013, Riverside County okayed 329 wiretaps. LA County did 146. In 2014, Riverside County approved the wiretapping of 624 phone lines compared to LA County's 129. In the 3 years since 2011, Riverside County's wiretap approvals quadrupled. What could possibly justify listening in on the phone conversations of so many Riverside County residents? And did the wiretapping make Riverside County residents safer? You could hardly argue that. After 624 wiretaps in 2014, only 176 people were arrested. To me, that says much of the listening in was unjustified. District Attorney Michael Hestrin said in some cases, people may have been prosecuted in other counties, but wiretap records are secret, so there's no way to know. For comparison's sake, San Bernardino County approved 30 wiretaps in 2014, resulting in 51 arrests.
That sounds like a better
ratio, you think? Listening into people's phone conversations is the most intrusive form of government surveillance, said Jennifer Lynch, staff attorney for the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a nonprofit that defends civil liberties in the digital world. Wiretapping should be a law enforcement tool of last resort. Only under the most compelling circumstances should Americans be asked to give up their right to privacy. Hestrin said that he became aware of the dramatic increase in wiretap approvals in Riverside County when he took office a year ago. Over the following months, he investigated why it was happening and substantially tightened policies on approving the wiretaps. He now personally reviews wiretap requests before they go to court. If there isn't a direct connection to Riverside County, Hestrin said he does not approve the wiretap request.
Now, another interesting piece of this, if you go on with her reporting, is that the county appoints one judge to oversee these requests, and it's a person who has some expertise. And now that there's been a bright light shine on this, and the article won't mention who the judge is, that judge has been reassigned. And so, because the question was asked, would they judge shopping? And the court basically responded back and says, no, we have one judge who did it all. And now they've said, well, we're not going to let
It doesn't make you feel any better, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it sounds like he was a rubber stamp more than a judge.
Yeah. Well, and perhaps, I mean, he has different opinions than perhaps the norm. There are a lot of people who have, we're a nation of many opinions and many ideas, and we love our freedoms. And he perhaps just happened to be somebody who fell on that side of the spectrum, saying, a little bit of intrusion into somebody's life they probably won't even know that it was there if nothing happens. And clearly, nothing happened quite a bit given the stats.
Let me give you my skeptic's vision of this, because these judges have to get reelected periodically. And you want the law enforcement and all the various unions to be on your side. You want the lawyers' unions to be on your side. And so rubber stamping these requests, these guys like you. He's one of ours. He's a team player, right? And then when you go to run, these are the guys who are going to endorse you. They're going to write you the checks. And it's a kind of corruption that happens in our system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've had some experience in politics and trying to get favor from people and, making decisions about, do I set aside some of my beliefs and it's tough to just hold the line and say no when you've got these groups, like you said, that can provide a lot of money and a lot of support.
Yeah.
Especially in local elections where it's small and the difference between the guy who wins and the guy who loses sometimes is just getting more signs out, because people recognize that name more than the other name.
Yeah.
The thing with the number of people that were tapped that didn't result in arrest, and since it's all secret, it leads people to believe, well, golly, was I tapped?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I live in Riverside County, and I'm reading this going, oh, my gosh, this is really weird.
I mean, not that I'm doing
It would have been the most
anything.
boring conversations in the world to listen to, but still. Makes you wonder. Hey, also, I wanted to point out, too, it was funny. I had a conversation. This made me think of a conversation I had with one of my daughters one time. We were talking about wiretapping, and they said, well, they can't do that to me because there aren't any wires. I use my cell phone.
Oh, my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's beautiful.
So for those of you who might be thinking that, understand that the tapping happens back at AT&T or Verizon, back at the switching center, because all of your cell connections basically go to a tower and then run along wires back to a switcher, which then switches the call and connects you to the other phone at the other end of the conversation. So it's the company in the middle who gets the paperwork from the judge that says you have to allow this police officer to have access to this particular connection.
And wiretapping, it harkens back to a time when every phone was wired.
But, when there was real wires
the
attaching all the phones in the world, and there was operators that were the ones doing some of the switching even.
We should coin a new phrase, though. We should call it wireless tapping.
Yeah, wireless tapping, air tapping.
Air tapping.
Yeah, like air guitar. We got air tapping. Except this one's real.
Yeah, well, and that takes on a whole different connotation for the younger people that we're not going to. We're not going to deal with that. No, it does make me nervous, and and how do you know if you're being investigated, and how do you know? I think now they have a real back to the subject of public relations. They have a big public relations problem. Yeah. That's kind of scary.
But the issue is too that you don't know when you're being investigated, and that's by intent, because they're evildoers who are being investigated and find out about it immediately start covering up everything they were doing. So so they can't. There's a fine line that has to be walked there, but I think that it sounds to me like in this particular case, the judge was not doing his due diligence in being our advocate. The reason they have to go to a judge is the judge is supposed to say, is there reasonable cause for doing this, and be there to protect the public. And it sounds like this particular judge just was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah. Well, he's just I think it's like Tobin said, he knows who his friends are.
Yeah.
Which is not how it's supposed to work.
Well, and
and it's a little
insulated.
frustrating that they're hiding who the judge is. I don't understand why there should be any reason to hide who the judge is.
I agree.
The judge who's appointed to do that is supposed to be appointed because they have expertise in the relevant laws and the technologies being used. Why is that not a public thing?
Here's the thing. It's probably an open secret. I'm certain that the people know, but until you get someone who's willing to go on the record and say that's the guy, that's the
But I mean, that should be documented and open in county documentation. I mean, there's I don't see any value in saying that there's secret in that person being hidden unless they're afraid that one person might then be threatened or swayed in some way in certain cases, and they don't want it to be obvious.
Well, the way the article is written, she interviewed the presiding judge for the Riverside County Courts. His name is Judge Howard Hopp, and he essentially didn't name the person just to say that he was reassigned. That there's one judge who's selected, and his or her expertise in relevant laws, and then it goes on to say the one who approved the wiretaps has been reassigned.
Yeah,
and
Judge Hopp knew this wasn't going well and didn't want to admit that he was the guy.
Yeah,
maybe we don't know.
Please don't assume that. But.
And when you don't know, people speculate naturally because people want to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And so,
it seems to me that should be public information anyway.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing this huge lack of transparency and apparently zero oversight.
Yeah.
And that is scary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with the need to be able to do that, but the process to get it approved, certainly there's no reason for that to be secretive. The information about who they're investigating, I get that. That should not be public. But the people involved in making the decision, no, that needs to be open and available.
So apparently the ACLU is investigating or attempting to review this story because there may be some serious civil liberty violations.
You think?
You think? And Kcaa McDuff, who wrote this article in the Press Enterprise, this column, she talked to a lawyer from the ACLU of Southern California, Adriana Wong, and her office said that her office is attempting to review it.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, and Kcaa McDuff is fearless, and she's been around for a while. She's got really good contacts.
She does.
As a reporter, she's one of those people who people feel comfortable talking to. And like I said, she probably knows the name. I'm certain someone told it to her off the record of who this judge was, but they know that she's not going to reveal that information unless she's she's one of the
She's
good
got
reporters.
She's an actual journalist.
Exactly.
One of a rare breed.
Exactly.
Yeah, amazing. Somebody who's listed as a writer and blogger who actually understands how to collect information and write a story. That said, unless there's some legal...
We are out of time. I'm so sorry. We can pick this back up on Tuesday as we
worries.
follow this story. It's 6:59. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink of the Morning Show on Kcaa AM 1050 and FM 106.5. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Or Thursday, everybody. What is today?
Thursday.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
CNBC Business Radio. Buckle up because it could be another ugly day on Wall Street. For the second time this week, trading was halted in China's main markets after stocks plunged 7%. Also adding to the mix, crude hitting a 12-year low. We have some good news from the Labor Department. Weekly jobless claims fell last week from a more than 5-month high. Initial claims for state unemployment benefits dropped 10,000 to 277,000. But some employees at Macy's will be looking for jobs. The department store chain is eliminating 4,500 positions as part of belt-tightening measures amid sagging sales. The retailer also cut its financial outlook after a poor holiday season and announced it's closing 36 stores. JCPenney had a very Merry Christmas, the retailer reporting a nearly 4% increase in sales during the 2015 holiday season. Chris Maurer, CNBC.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 9898 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 9898.
There are times being a genius would really come in handy.
This is Houston. Your oxygen levels will be depleted unless you put the valve modulator into the auxiliary gauge after you have calibrated the flexternal matrix, not the external matrix. Do not touch that one.
I'm just the cook. But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes. Because with TurboTax, you can snap a photo of your W-2 with your smartphone, and it will automatically put your information into all the right forms. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter.
Folks, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. Maybe you've heard me talk about BuySellMakeOffer.com on my internet radio station, BeatlesArama.com. Well, I'm here to fill you in on this enormously revolutionary way to sell your products online. You just need to forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over, and then I found BuySellMakeOffer.com. They never charge you item fees. We just need your email address so we can let you know well in advance of the launch when you can load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Just think of it as Craigslist on steroids. Using our resources along with Skype and videos, you just add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building toward our January 15th launch date. I've signed up to sell my stuff with BuySellMakeOffer.com. You should too. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In the San Bernardino National Forest, we have chains required for everything 5,000 feet and above. So if you're heading on any of those mountain roads, make sure you take chains with you and know how to put them on. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between Main Street and Green River Road. East is heavy from Madison Street to 14th. The 71 south is busy between Euclid Avenue and the 91. In Yucaipa, there's a disabled vehicle. The right lane is blocked on the 10 eastbound at Yucaipa Boulevard. A disabled big rig is blocking the right lane. Only minor slowing has been reported for the immediate area. In Moreno Valley, stop-and-go traffic on the 215 northbound between Alessandro Boulevard and Blaine Street, 3rd Street. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. In Chino, slow traffic on the 60 westbound between Mountain Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Etiwanda Avenue to Central. The 210 west is slow and go from Haven Avenue to Foothill Boulevard. In Hesperia, there's slow traffic on the 15 southbound between the 395, US 395, and Highway 138. This slowing is due in part to rainy weather in the past. There's probably a lot of fog up there too, so please be careful. In Corona, there's an accident, but it's been cleared on the 15 southbound after Hidden Valley Parkway. This crash involved two vehicles along the right shoulder. And finally, in Corona, on the 91 westbound at Grand Boulevard, the on-ramp is closed until January 30th. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
Thumbs Up Pet Spa wants to remind pet owners of the importance of spaying and neutering. Shelters overflow with unwanted pets. Spaying and neutering helps to prevent this and has many health benefits too. That message courtesy of Thumbs Up Pet Spa, Inland Empire's finest mobile spa. For all breed dog and cat grooming, call 951-403-9909. Visit them on Facebook too. Thumbs Up Pet Spa is on the air because they care.
From the Kcaa Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got showers and a high near 55. Tonight, showers, possible thunderstorms. Some storms could produce heavy rain, low near 43. Showers, possible thunderstorm on Thursday with a high near 55. Thursday night, showers, possible thunderstorm, cloudy with a low near 41. Showers likely, partly sunny and a high near 56 on Friday. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy skies, a low near 39. Saturday, chance of showers, partly sunny and a high near 57. Saturday night, chance of showers, partly cloudy skies, a low near 42. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly sunny and a high near 60. That's your weather for this hour from the KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
He's a contributor to the Fox Business Channel and the author of the Best Stocks Now newsletter. He's president of Gunderson Capital Management, and he's here, live on the Wall Street Business Network. Here is Bill Gunderson.
February the 7th, the live edition of the Best Stocks Now radio hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson, president of Gunderson Capital Management. Well, I was watching American Idol last night in their last season, and it's the first show of the year. I thought, you know what? Let's just give it one more look. And while I'm watching American Idol, I also just happened to glance at the stock futures predicting where Thursday would open. And I saw they were down 400 points. What? Not again. Well, China had another tumultuous evening, didn't they? But you know what? I've given this a lot of thought. Let's go through the numbers here, and then I'll give you my analysis of what's going on right now. The Dow is down right now 229 points. This is getting old, right? We've been doing this all week now. This is the fourth day in a row. 16,674, but I'll remind you, when I got in the business, it was at 3,000. So 16,674 may sound kind of bad on a short-term basis, but a longer-term basis has been quite a success story, has the stock market. The S&P 500 down 29 points right now. That's a 1.5%. It's at 1961. Let's see. I was in third grade, somewhere in there. The NASDAQ down 94, 4,741. Crude oil. Here's another problem. Down again, down 2.5%, 33.11. It's all oil in China, isn't it? Oil in China. That's the two problems. Gold, 11.03. The euro, 1.0869, and the 10-year yield is at 2.18%. So welcome to the Best Stocks Now radio hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson, which will soon be heard. We're currently heard in 13 markets across the country, major markets. I mean, it's not like Tonopah, Nevada, or Winnemucca. I've been to both those places. They're quite interesting. Good little restaurant there in Tonopah. If you want to know, give me a call. Send me an email. But we're in 13 major cities across America, and soon to add 3 more. And I give a lot of thought. I think you can tell I'm a pretty analytical type of person. You can see the depth of my newsletter that I write every single week. Let's go through the news first, okay? Let's start with the bad news. Let's get it out of the way. China halted again overnight. I also saw that news last night while I was hearing some young girl yodel on American Idol. They were in Atlanta last night. I tried to see if any of our listeners or clients were there watching those Atlanta editions. But China was halted 7%. As soon as it got down 7%, they shut off the lights and said, "That's it, boys. We're going home." Sent everybody home. I sent everybody home from my office last night. We have some torrential flooding rains. You know, on the one hand, we're always praying for end to the rains and help for the drought. And then the next thing you know, we're praying for relief from the flooding. It's either feast or famine as it relates to rain here in California. Well, China has now suspended the circuit breakers, which was my first question. Why do you shut it down? Just let them trade. Let them have at it. Let the markets work themselves out. We don't shut down our markets here in America. The only time we shut down our markets was after the attack on 9/11 because we had entered into new territory that was pretty scary. China, I think they're doing the right thing. Just let it trade. Let the markets trade. Let the markets work themselves out. Gasoline inventories surge. Well, oil is now at $33 per barrel. Many think that it's headed for sub $30 per barrel. Not T. Boone Pickens, however. He was on Jim Cramer yesterday, and T-Boone was calling for $70 per barrel by the end of the year. I'd say that's a pretty wild guess there, Mr. Pickens. If you're right, the market's going to have one heck of a year here in 2016, but I don't know about that prediction. We have George Soros comparing this recent action in the market to 2008. Well, the problem is with Mr. Soros' observation is he said the same thing in 2011, and obviously the market has come up considerably since 2011. So I don't give Soros much weight. I don't give him much weight as a human being, let alone a stock market prognosticator. Macy's, more bad news, closing 40 stores. I noticed that the one across the street from us here in downtown San Diego is not on the list, so I'm happy about that. I can still get my goods over there at the local Macy's. We have, let's see, SD is being delisted. That is a oil and gas exploration company. I just wonder how many more. You know, as I look at this SD, it was $69 per share in 2008. The name is Sandridge Energy. Yesterday it hit 15 cents per share. How many more oil and gas exploration stocks out there are going to go the way of Sandridge Energy? More bad news. Schwab robo-advisor grows to $5.2 billion. Man. And Fidelity and BlackRock are ramping up their robot investing. You can hire your own. You can have them do robo-investing for you. Pretty soon they'll have a robots union, you know, and they'll be striking, wanting more time off or wanting more WD-40 on weekends. What else do we have? Now let's get to the good news, okay? Let's get to the good news. Solid gains for German factory orders. There we go. Alf saying there. Employers lay off 23,620. That may sound like a lot, especially if you were one of them, but that's the lowest in 15 years. Okay, let's see. The German economy is still hanging in there. In fact, it's starting to grow and accelerate. Number two, the unemployment picture, which is a big indicator of the U.S. economy, is still pretty bright and pretty rosy. In fact, better than it's been in 15 years. Don't you think the Fed's going to back off? That's got to be very good news for the market. You saw how the market did not want that move by the Fed, and every time the Fed sneezed, the market went down a couple hundred points. Well, now you've got the Fed, I would think, wondering why did we raise interest rates in the first place, and I would think they'd be very reluctant to follow up in March with another interest rate hike. Now, here's the really good news, all right? My stock that I own, big position in, Constellation Brands, reports earnings way better than expected. The stock is up $5.71 so far today. Another big holding, Signet Jewelers, a stock that I own in my ultra growth account. That's a jewelry store. They had a magnificent Christmas. Thanks, guys, for buying the wife's the diamond earrings, whatever, pendants. Signet Jewelers is up $6.24 today. L Brands, which I've written articles on and I own, big position here. That's a good move on L Brands today. They report same-store sales way better. Thanks, guys, for visiting the Victoria's Secret, getting the wife a little present. I wrote an article recently about what is Victoria's Secret anyways. Well, one of the secrets is it's one of the best performing stocks over the last decade in that space. L Brands is up $2.56 today. Hey, I thought you said the market's down $2.50. Well, it is. It's down about $2.20 right now. But there is a lot of bright spots. And let's not forget Netflix. Netflix is going into almost every country in the world. There will be access